As soon as the sharp, pointed spears pierced into the ground, an invisible wall instantly formed. The herd of running yaks sensed the danger, panicked, turned back, and began to flee, without realizing that a deep and deadly ravine lay ahead. By the time they understood the truth, it was already too late. When the Yak King saw his companions falling one by one into the ravine, he realized that this was a trap laid by humans. Enraged and seeking revenge for the death of his kind, the Yak King charged toward the hunters. On the way, he collided with a weak boy named Jack, who was the son of the tribal chief. When the chief saw his son in danger, he gathered all his strength and hurled his spear. It struck straight into the Yak King's belly. But blinded by rage and burning for revenge, the Yak King did not stop despite the pain. He decided to drag Jack toward the ravine. At last, he lifted Jack against his chest and threw him into the abyss. The people rushed in panic to the edge of the ravine. Fortunately, Jack did not fall straight down. Instead, he barely managed to grab hold of a rock jutting out from the cliff. Even so, he was nearly 30 feet below, and rescuing him from there was extremely difficult. The chief stood at the edge, shouting desperately for his son. Suddenly, under Jack's weight, the rock cracked. In front of everyone, Jack began to fall again into the ravine. Seeing his son slipping away, the chief was overwhelmed with grief and decided to give up his own life, but the tribesmen pulled him back. He was their leader, and the responsibility of the entire tribe rested on him. He stood at the edge of the ravine all night, calling out his son's name, but there was no reply. When the truth finally sank in, the father was completely shattered. He was forced to accept his son's death. But fate showed mercy to Jack once more. He had not fallen straight into the depths. Instead, he landed on another protruding rock. He lay unconscious there for hours. Then a vulture descended upon him and cruelly began pecking at his lips. The sharp pain brought Jack back to consciousness. Just when everything seemed lost, a powerful storm suddenly arrived. Heavy rain poured down and flowed over the rock, giving Jack a faint glimmer of hope. As the water kept rising, he clenched his teeth and held on with all his remaining strength. And when all his strength was finally exhausted, Jack suddenly let go of his hand.